Hello everyone. So the NEET PG 23 results have been out, and we have one of the toppers here, Dr. Aakar, Prabhu, who's got a rank of 16 with an amazing score of 703 in his very first attempt, along with internship, and that's really commendable. Heartiest congratulations, Dr. Aakar, on that.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So yes, Aakar, how does it feel to get that two-digit rank in the first attempt?
I was quite nervous during my results since I was unable to find my rank in the first 5 minutes. So I was quite stressed to know what rank I had got. But finally, I was quite happy and relieved to hear that I was rank 16.
I'm pretty sure it must have been like a big sigh of relief.
Yes.
And yes, let me also tell everyone that the common thing that me and Aakar share is both of us have done our MBBS from LTMMC Sion Hospital, Mumbai. So that's a very special connect that I have with him. So Aakar, I would definitely like to know that how did you manage your NEET PG preparation with internship? Because being in Sion, I know that it's pretty hectic there.
So I had decided that my first attempt will be my sort of my last attempt so that I give my 100% in this attempt. And I made a realistic plan. So I stuck to important topics and not the whole subjects. I used PYQs as a guide as to know which topics I should be giving more importance to. And even if I leave the less important topics when I run out of time, that it's okay to miss some things, but not to miss the important things which are which bear the most weight in the exam.
I mean,
So
that's a very smart strategy, I would say. But then did it not give any FOMO? Because I receive so many messages like students say if we do only the important stuff, then we get the thought at the back of mind, what if we get questions from something which we are not reading?
during the first revision, I was quite nervous because since the all the notes are quite vast, I felt the FOMO that I might miss something out. But as I used the PYQ, I used the PYQs to my strength and found that it's okay to miss out on a question or two, but not to miss out on the basic stuff that will be the rank deciding questions. As we all know that 10 to 12 questions are always those questions which are just distractors, which no one is gonna get. You might just end up wasting your time solving those. So I tried to calm myself down during the second and third revisions by making them more consolidated.
Right. So I'm sure that your grand test ranks might also be reflecting and telling you that you are on the right path. So what ranks you used to get in the grand test?
I used to be within the first to 20 ranks, fluctuating.
Oh, that's amazing. So when did you start giving those mock tests?
My first GT I remember was on the first day of my internship. I just wanted to know like how well I am prepared, like how overall my MBBS knowledge is helping me currently, so that I get to know my strengths and weaknesses and build my build my plan according to it.
I mean,
So
another super strategy.
yes, ma'am. I remember my rank was around some thousands. So I got a relief that yeah, I'm not too far behind. I just have to build upon my current concept so I get much closer to my goal.
All right. And when was the last GT that you gave? The exam was on 5th March. So when did you stop giving the grand test?
My last GT was on 17th or 18th,
Okay.
around 15, 20 days before the exam. Because
And what was the feedback on that?
I wanted to give a GT a little close to the exam so that I'm like in the habit of giving the GT. Like if I'm a month or so behind, I felt that I might lose the touch of giving GT. So I planned it accordingly.
Okay. So what was your rank in the last GT?
My last GT, my rank was around 11.
Okay. So pretty close to your final rank.
Yes, ma'am.
So how much did you attempt in the final exam?
Ma'am, I had attempted 192 questions.
192. And
Yes,
how
ma'am.
much does it come out to? How much did you get right out of those
Ma'am,
to get the score?
I'm guessing I got around 180 to 182 correct and a few wrong. So my goal was to reach 185, 190, but I feel given the paper being a bit more based on factual stuff, so I thought I am happy with my score between 180 to 185.
Amazing. Superb. And did you also give the unacademy combats?
Yes, ma'am. I quite like the concept of combats. Like I didn't as such prepare for the combats. It was just fun giving it live with among all the competitors, and since it was time based, I quite enjoyed giving it.
Okay, that's great. And apart from that, how did you find the live interactive classes on an academy? I think the USP of being like, sitting at your home, but still having the interactive classes. How did you find that?
Yes, ma'am. The best thing about an academy was their live interactive classes. Like we could get our doubts solved right then and there. Like the educators were also quite nice enough to interact with us and not just rush along the lecture and then say that I'm done with it. So I like the educators, their attitude towards us, and covering all the important topics, solving all the doubts, giving equal weightage, and not ignoring the silly doubts or something like that.
So that's personally even my favorite feature on an academy. I would definitely agree to that. And coming back to, if I ask you the weightage of notes versus MCQs, what do you think? What should one focus more on?
According to me, your first revision should be more heavy on the notes. And as you get closer to your exam, you should start focusing more on the MCQs because ultimately in the exam, you have to apply the knowledge that you have gained through the notes. So towards the end, you should be thorough with the type of MCQs that might come, how you will tackle them, like different approaches to a question. Like if there's a clinical question, you might approach it through a biochemistry point of view or medicine point of view. So you have to decide which are your strong points and approach a question accordingly. So I feel towards the end more MCQ based, towards the beginning the notes based.
Okay. And did you use any like secret resources, anything apart from the usual resources that everybody uses?
No, ma'am, no resources as such, but I tried to make a 20th book of sorts for the volatile stuff, which is, I feel, which is very important to revise in the last 10 days. Because I tried memorizing a lot of information like the biochemistry cycles, some of the microbiology facts, but I found that reading them in the last 10 days was more useful for me than cramming them up early in my preparation because we tend to forget on those factual stuff, however, we try to remember them. So it's important to make a consolidated small book or 20th book.
And
Yes,
another very super strategy, I would say. So the last days definitely should be dedicated to revising those volatile stuff so that it stays in your memory on the exam day.
yes, ma'am.
And second, did you use USMLE first aid?
No, ma'am. Actually, there again, I was in a confusion whether to start it now or no. I felt it was too late for me since I was quite accustomed to my notes. So, and I tend to have photographic memory of sorts. So I thought that sticking to my notes, I was at a better position than reviewing a new book of sorts.
So that's amazing. I've found at least one topper student who says that I've not read first aid. And so that would give a sigh of relief to the students who are finding it difficult to read first aid. So
I
so like first aid is good, but I won't say it is like essential to get a good rank.
Yes, ma'am. Especially if you are already accustomed to a source, I would not recommend changing it like too close to the exam because you are at a better position mentally. Otherwise, if you change a source last minute, you'll be confused. What should I follow, whether from this book or that book, and it'll all be a mess in your head later.
Okay. And what's your opinion on like one resource versus multiple resources or giving the grant test from multiple platforms? What was your take on that?
My feel for each individual subject, you should stick to one source. You can change the sources between subjects, but you should stick to one source for one subject to avoid confusions. And GTs, you can follow a single source in the beginning, but towards the end, just to see your position in reality, like you are not getting accustomed to the type of questions a particular app is making. So towards the end, it is good to give the GTs of different apps to get your overall position.
Right. And are you also an advocate of reading standard textbooks in the undergraduate days?
I'm actually in the first and second year, I have read all the standard textbook pretty well because I feel I learned in the first 2 years that how to read a standard textbook and not just read it line to line, but understand what is important. I feel the first 2 years are very crucial, essential in learning how to read a textbook so that your third and fourth year subjects are quite, you tend to finish them quite easily without getting too stressed with the number of pages you are left with.
That's great. And what branch are you planning to pursue?
Am I thinking of some surgical branch like either general surgery, ortho, or OBGY?
Okay. And like, are you satisfied with NEET PG or you'll be going ahead and giving I9CT as well?
I'll be giving a try for the INI as well. I'll feel that central institutes are a little better than the ones which are available via NEET, so I'll be trying for the INI exam.
But just a bit of suggestion there, surgical branches if you're inclined, so make sure you make a good choice there,
Yes, ma'am.
because there have been students who've left even AIMS Delhi surgery after getting into there.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
So think very carefully before you choose your branch and your college as well, I would say. And yes, all the very best for your I9CT exam as well. Hope we meet again post I9CT results for another interview.
Yes, ma'am.
And one last thing before going, any of your favorite quotes or something which kept you motivated during your lows?
I feel that you shouldn't get demotivated with your GT ranks or your scores. You should just compare it with your previous GT ranks and feel good about yourself that you are at a better position than you were in the past. And you should not run behind multiple sources. Stick to one source and just consolidate your notes for revision, which will make it easier to finish all the subjects in a shorter amount of time, so that you end up remembering all the important stuff and not the points which are of not much use during the exam.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Aakar, for those valuable insights and the valuable inputs. I'm pretty sure that it would help a lot of learners fulfill and get their dream also come true. Thank you so much and best wishes.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.